idea, Dr. Sattler. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Control room.
The door locks! Ellie, boot up the door locks!
Welcome to CP101, and we are back with the Revell 125th Snap Tight Raptors, and this is a model kit from 1997 from the Jurassic Park series of movies. As you can see, we got Billy Joe and Bobby Sue completed. Both are puttied. Our next step now on the Raptors is to mask off their mouths, and then we'll prime them. And I'll probably use Duplicolor black primer, their regular primer. And then if they look good, then we'll start painting the Raptors. I haven't decided on colors yet. The one I have decided on. One of these guys are going to be kind of sort of like the Raptor we saw in the movie. They named him Blue. He was kind of a good guy in the movie, and we're going to do one as Blue, and then we'll do the other one. I still like the tiger print, so we'll do one in a tiger print. I just have to go through my craft acrylics and decide what color we're going to use. I'm kind of thinking like an ash gray on one, and the one we're going to call Blue, which would be Billy Joe, I guess. We might do him in a base color of gray. In fact, the same gray we used on the Hogan's Heroes car, that Westport gray, because it has a bit of a blue tint to it. And since he's going to have the blue stripe going down the side, I think that would be a perfect color. So we'll do one in a silver gray, and I think we'll do one in a Westport gray. And I think that'll be pretty cool. So that's the scoop on the Raptors, on Billy Joe and Bobby Sue. We got those two ready to go. The next step was to work on this base. The base is not bad. It's got some nice surface details, but ooh, that was just like nails going across a blackboard. Yeah. I mean, putting them in there, I hate that sound. But the problem with this base, while it's a nice surface detailing, it's kind of plain. Too plain for me. I kind of like to jazz it up a bit, but we're going to jazz this up on a budget because I don't want to put too much money into this because I didn't pay a whole lot for the kit. But I want it to be nice. So what I did is I ran over to the first store I went to was Packatans. And if you're not familiar with Packatans, they're another craft store like a Michael's. And I think Packatans is way better than Michael's. I think they have a better selection. Prices are way cheaper, and I'm going to give you an example here in a minute. But I could spend all day in a Packatans. It's just a great store. But anyway, I went to Packatans first, and I picked up this big old bag of moss. Probably more moss than what I'll ever use. But it was only $3 at Packatans. And it's the perfect color, the perfect texture, the perfect look for Jurassic Park, and we're going to use this as some ground cover. And as I said, I paid $3 for this at Packatans. I went over to Michael's, which is just across the street from Packatans where I live, and the very same thing. I mean, same company, same bag, the very same thing was $8 at Michael's. And so there's your price difference. $3 at Packatans, $8 at Michael's. So anyway, so we got $3 here with this moss, and then I got also this flower thing here. I don't know what the hell it is, what it's called, but I just thought the look was perfect, and it would go well with the Raptors. But that's going to go on the base right here, because the Raptors, when you put them on the base, as you saw earlier, they kind of look like they're splitting off. And I thought with the plant right there, now you know why they're splitting off. Not, obviously they're going to be picking a fight with the T-Rex, but it just made kind of sense for something to be between the two Raptors. So I think this plant is a perfect look, and I think it looks great on the base. And it was only a couple bucks, so I thought it was just the perfect thing. So we're going to add that to the base right here. We'll add some roots or something to the bottom, so it don't look like it's just plopped on there. So we got that as well for a couple bucks. So we also, as I said, since Michael's was across the street and they were having this big sale on things, I thought I'd just go over there and see what they had. So I went to their clearance table and I got this off their clearance table at Michael's. Now this is normally $8. This is again more moss, which is perfect for ground clutter and cover. But it also has like pieces of bark, different types of mosses, and it's got like twigs and sticks, which would make good for like trees. But it's got all kinds of cool stuff inside here. And again, I thought it would fit the look of the base of the Jurassic Park. Anyway, thought it fit the look perfect. And as I said, it was $7.99. I got it 50% off, so it ran me $4 at Michael's. So for about $10, we've got everything we need to kind of spruce up the base, which I don't think is too bad. I mean, that's about what I wanted to spend, and that's where we're at. So I think we've done good for $10. We've got everything we need to spiffy this up. Now, when I was looking at this base, I thought, all this is going to be cool, but it still would be really, really cool if we could hear the Raptors. So we're going to add sound to this as well, to the base. I think I got them in the right spot. So I got online and I got me a file of raptor sounds from the movie Jurassic Park. And it's a clean version of raptor sounds, meaning there's no music in the background, there's no background noise, there's no talking. It's just nothing but pure raptor sounds that we heard in the movie. So I downloaded the file. So now I have a file of a whole bunch of different raptor sounds. So I think that's going to be really cool to actually hear the raptors. So what we're going to do for that aspect of the build is we're going to use the same sound card that I used on the Martian War Machine. And that's this card right here. This card is a 300 or 200. It's a 200 second sound card, which means it'll hold 200 seconds worth of sounds, which is like way more than what I need. I really only need like a 15-second card. But these were only, I don't know, $3, $4. So I couldn't pass it up for that price. And what we're going to have to do is do the same thing we did on the Martian War Machine. We're going to have to modify these to use a single cell battery, the 2032 that I like to use. I don't like these little button cell batteries because they're a pain in the ass to find in the stores, and when you do find them, they're not cheap. So just like on the Martian War Machine, we're going to remove these and tap into this board. We're going to run this board off of just one of these 2032s. The great thing about these boards is that they're pretty, they're not picky on voltage. They work anywhere from 3 to 9 volts. So we shouldn't have any issues running it off a single 2032. And if we do, we'll just double it. And we'll run two 2032s and we'll be running this off of 6 volts. But whether it's 3 volts or 6 volts, it's going to work either way. and that's what we're going to run. So I'm going to have to modify this like I did on the Martian War Machine, and get it to work off a 2032. And then we're going to change the momentary switch here. It comes with one, but I want a surface mount. So I have to get me a surface mount momentary push button. I thought I had some, but I don't. All I have are toggle switches, on-off switches, and that's not going to work. So I guess I need to get a hold of Jerry over at the HDA Model Works and pick up. I'm pretty sure he has these. I'll have to ask him. I'll send him an email. But I'm pretty sure Jerry has some sub-mini surface mounted momentary switches, push button. And then we'll mount the push button, I don't know, maybe over here or over here, somewhere we'll mount it. I haven't decided yet. Maybe back here underneath this guy's butt here. The switch, so when we push it once, and then you hear all the Raptor sounds, and then when the Raptor sounds are done playing, you have to push it again to cycle it again. So that's what we're going to do. I've already I've test fitted the board, and it'll fit underneath here and not cause any problems. As you can see, it has a really low profile, because these are made for greeting cards. That's why they have such a low profile. And we got more than enough room to mount that underneath this plastic base, and it won't interfere with it sitting on a tabletop. So we'll mount this. What I'll probably do is this is on a adhesive paper, and so what we'll do is I'll cut off. I'll leave the adhesive paper underneath the circuit board, and then we'll mount that board right about here. We'll move the speaker over to here, and then we'll have our 2032 probably mounted up in this rock here in a coin holder, and run our power from here over to here. And then the push button will be, as I said, back here. Roughly here, so it's all relatively close to the circuit board, so we won't have to do too much running of wiring. So I think it'll be all pretty good. Now I've already drilled my holes for the speaker sound, because we don't want to muffle the speaker due to the plastic and our ground cover. So what I've done is I went to a drug mart and got me one of these sink traps, sink hair things. Can't think of the name of it. But I bought this because this is about the same size as these speakers, or close to it, close enough. And it makes for a perfect template for drilling holes. I just use the center circle here, and I just take my pin vise and I just freehand it. I don't get fancy, but I just stick this on here and start using this as a guide and drilling my holes. And then when I remove this, I have a nice set of speaker holes, and it's pretty easy peasy. And this only ran me like $1.25 at Drug Mart. So it makes a great little template thing, a little drilling guide. But we got that drilled for the sound to come out, and then we'll add some ground clutter to cover it up, so where you don't see the holes that are, won't be so noticeable. I'll add some of that moss or something to make like a bush, and we'll just plop it right there, and I think it'll be all good. So we're up to like 13 minutes. I think that's long enough for this update. We've got a lot of progress done in just a few days, which I'm glad, because I have chemo this week, so I'm not going to be worth a crap anymore. So I wanted to get some of these done, so I can at least get a little bit of work done, because I'm going to start falling behind on all my projects. But I think it's going to be all cool when it's all said and done. Alright, I'm rambling, so it's time to go. Stay tuned for the next update, where hopefully I'll have a lot more done. Hopefully we'll have the Raptors primed anyway. And we'll have the circuit board modified. And I need to get a hold of Jerry, and it'll be all good. For now, I'll just use the supplied push button switch for now to test everything and make sure everything's working okay, and go from there. So, alright guys, that's it. Take care.